If you get a break of LVA or HVA with 5-minute trend and it stops exactly on market profile, that's your top setup that you're going to get. You can't get a better setup than this. With the exact same trade yesterday, and it worked again today. All right, the 5-sim Renko works on your own Ninja charts. You guys should all have it up. It's a long-term time frame. I've been educating you guys since I came out with J-Signal. The best time to use the 5-sim Renko is when we are trending. Typically, we're trending around 3 out of 5 days now, meaning you log in, these moving averages right here have widespread, big wide spread between them. If you look, I put a 5-minute trend filter on J-Signal. If you look at this magenta moving average, says 60.23. If you look at my black charts, the exact moving average is 60.23. If you look at the smaller moving average, says 607, 67.07. On the black charts, it says 60.07. So I got the same moving averages over here on the black as I have on your own Ninja charts on your Ninja charts with J-Signal. So that works on all markets. So when you see the trend filter have big spread like this, very big spread, this will be your top setup on J-Signal. If you break below low value area and the 5-minute trend is down, which it is, that's called a motive wave because it's with 5-minute trend. Remember, we only have one setup on J-Signal. That is a number 3 pattern. It's called a number 3 trade. But there are 2 wave patterns with the number 3 trade. There's a motive wave and there's a corrective wave. The motive wave will be with 5-minute trend. So your best setup in the trade room, according to the J-Signal, will be a motive wave with 5-minute trend, which is with 5-minute trend, called a number 3 pattern. It is when you break below low value, you come up to low value, and you straddle it or you test it. And it can even go inside it by 1 bar and still get the signal. If it's right on it or right around it or just above it and you get a signal, that's the most powerful trade you're going to have on J-Signal. These are 50 to 100 tick trades consistently. Same thing yesterday. Happened 3 times last week during the morning session. You get these big power moves. They're called power up moves because you get a big break of low value area. There's no support below us, none. You get below low value, I have no support holding this market up, none. Okay, nothing. It's a path of least resistance. There's no resistance below me on the black charts over here or J-Signal. So what you get is you get a breakdown retest. If you get the fib dots that fire off right exactly on the retest of low value area and you get the J-Signal or manually pull yourself in with the pull-in bar, that's going to be your top setup. Okay, versus if it would just do this, if it would come up and it would give me a fib dot, let's say here, right? That's a lower probability trade because it didn't retrace all the way up to the LV or HVA, right? So remember, you're still allowed to take the trade if it goes all the way up to this black line. But what does that tell you? If it goes all the way to the black line, it's not as weak. So you're not going to possibly get a 100 tick trade, a 150 tick trade. This is telling us, guys and gals, the market is telling us, is tipping us that we have a possible huge trade on our hands when we retest LVA and strata. Look at this market. It's free falling. We got a free fall trade on our hands right now, right? Because it retested LVA in a hard downtrend and it never closed inside of it. So that educates you and tells you that you have an edge over your trading opponents when a free fall market because there's no support. It told you the market wasn't even strong enough to get back inside a low value on my profile with my J-Signal trade. This is the top trade in the trade room on both the 5 and 3 sim, especially if it happens on the 5 because you got a great little entry right there. That's a gorgeous entry on the order imbalance bar right there. All right, look at the market just keep cranking down. It's because you broke low value, you retested low value, you never closed above low value. I even took one on gold here last week. Actually, 2 of them almost like this identical trade last week. It gave a doji just inside of it, but the doji was penetrating also the LVA, and one was an HVA, and it cranked. I mean, it cranked really hard. It's when you get up into this area right here, if it reverses right on this area, on the 5-sim Renko, on the first retest, be prepared for a big move. You want to let your runners run. It's going to happen on a weekly basis like this because we're trending around 3 out of 5 days right now. All right, when you come in and these moving averages look like a car driving down through the middle of your chart. Car tracks, look at these car tracks, right? There's your left side and here's your right side of the car. They're parallel. You're going to log in and see that, and that tells you get ready for a break of LVA or break of HVA for an explosive trade. Okay, this is your top setup you're going to get on J-Signal when it matches up like this on a motive wave. Remember, we have a motive wave and we have a corrective wave. On the 3-sim, this is a motive wave also right here. This is a motive wave. It's with 5-minute trend. Look how close I got to market profile. How close I got to market profile. That's a motive wave. Motive waves are better than corrective waves. I have some long-term members that will only trade motive waves. They won't even trade corrective waves because corrective waves are counter trend moves. They'll only trade corrective waves if I'm coming off of a session high or session low. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's quite a few that do that where they'll only trade motive waves with 5-minute trend. The only time they'll trade a corrective wave if I'm at a session high or I'm at a session low and I get back inside a profile. That's the only time they'll trade it. All right? And they've been very, very profitable doing that. So you just got to make sure on motive waves, it's the same concept. Motive waves are with 5-minute trend. Now, I don't put in the room my automated moving averages on the 3-sim because it crunches my data. I just leave them on my 5-sim. On your own Ninja charts, your charts should look like this. Put them right beside each other. When you're setting up your charts on all these markets, put the 5 and 3 right beside each other like this. That way you can see good price action. Put them right side. That's why you got your long-term time frame and your short-term time frame. You can see all these great signals. Look at these great signals. Beautiful. Break LVA. There's no support below us. The methodology is right here, guys and gals. Market profile sets the trade up. Broke through LVA. Now we're catching the rolling position traders. J signal is a trigger, entry and stop. There's your retracement. Fib dots fire the area. Arrow shows I'm in a possible 1, 2, 3 pattern short or ABC short. There's my triangle that tells me I got to order and balance. I'm going to try to mark the market down. There's your entry. Your stop is a 2/3 body candle close above this black line. Over here, same thing on J signal and 3-sim. Right there, I broke through low value area. There's my trend change with the 5-minute trend. There's my beautiful, gorgeous fib dots that fire off. There's my gorgeous Elliott wave possible pattern short, ABC short, 1, 2, 3 pattern short. And there's my exact bar entry bar to take it short right there. There's your exact bar entry. There's your stop. If you close, you don't want to risk more than 15 tick stop on the 3-sim though, guys. No more than 15 tick stop on the 3-sim. No more than 15 tick stop on my black charts either, number 1, number 3 trade. You don't need to risk more than 15 ticks. But there's your exact bar entries right here. Exact bar entry, big follow through with 5-minute trend. So motive waves are where it's at. You got to make sure you don't miss the motive waves. And you got to make sure if you have the 5-sim up, we had one just like this yesterday too, which is gorgeous. You don't want, if you don't close above it, you get a beautiful spinning top or doji right at the retest of LVA. Do not miss that trade. On any market you trade, I don't care what you trade, S&P 500, 400, Russell 2000, NASDAQ futures, Dow minis, it doesn't matter what you trade. Soybeans, I don't care what you trade. That's the exact setup that works on all markets. So if you follow multiple markets, what you can do, which I like to do, is I like to sit back and wait for these breaks. Motive waves are the best. And on corrective waves, I like seeing session lows, and then you just get back inside a market profile, look for the first J signal to enter. It's the best way to do it.